What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Call of Duty World War II on BlackTideTV. This is very likely your last chance to earn entries in the ASTRO A20 headset giveaway. This isn't technically my video for the 31st, but it is the 31st of December, and I will likely be drawing the winner sometime tonight or maybe tomorrow. Depends on what my schedule is like, and it also depends on what my schedule is like based on what videos I'll be uploading. If I happen to get up and I'm not incredibly lazy today, I will definitely make another video and post that one before I draw the winner of the headset. But in that case, well, in the case that is not the case, this is going to be your last chance. So at this point, you can head over to my Twitter page, follow me on Twitter, and retweet that tweet posted to the top of my profile. You can subscribe to my second channel and comment on the most recent video on the second channel, just letting me know that you are subscribing for the giveaway, for direct giveaway purposes. And you can also become a sponsor to BlackTideTV on YouTube Gaming. There's a link in the description down below, and that is a monetary compensation to me, helping me out, helping the channel further in the future. So that is always available to you guys, even once the giveaway is over, in case you guys wanted to support the channel in any kind of way. But I will be drawing the giveaway winner sometime later today, so just keep in mind that the first 3 people to comment on this video and any other videos before I officially announce the winner of the giveaway, both on my Twitter page and in a video, you've been warned. So we're on the precipice at this point. You got to get your entries in right away if you want a chance to win. But in today's video, I just grabbed a basic gameplay, and I wanted to talk about being back in the boots on the ground setting. For a lot of players, especially the Christmas noobs, this is your first time coming back to a boots on the ground game in a few years. We've had a few years of advanced movement, starting with Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and then Infinite Warfare. A lot of players did try out Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, and this game is very similar to that in the boots on the ground setting. So if you played Modern Warfare Remastered, this might not be totally applicable to you, but it is a little guide on how to get back to the boots on the ground setting, because with the futuristic games and the advanced movement, the very high movement speed, you can really go about playing multiplayer a very, very different type of way. You don't need to worry specifically of where your enemies are at all times. You don't need to worry about the spawn rotation as much, because you can move from one side of the map to the other incredibly quickly. So there are a bunch of little things that you'll notice playing a boots on the ground Call of Duty game that is very, very different from playing the advanced movement. The very first thing, like I'd said already, is the map control. You're going to definitely need to keep an eye on your minimap and just keep an eye on where your teammates are specifically. With the advanced movement games, you can jolt back and forth across the map very quickly, whereas in boots on the ground, if you spend a good 20 seconds running to one part of the map just to find no enemies, those enemies will likely then spawn on top of you and kill you, and you'll just have to run the 20 seconds again. So you should always be keeping an eye on the minimap, looking for enemies as well as your friendlies. The friendlies will definitely help you judge where the spawn locations are. If you see a lot of, I think they're blue arrows in this game, if you see a lot of blue arrows on your minimap in one specific location, best bet is to head in the opposite direction. I would also say that the gameplay in a boots on the ground Call of Duty game is much more passive. At least it should be more passive. With Modern Warfare Remastered, it was certainly more passive, but in this game, there's almost a false sense of a high speed engagement happening at all times. You always feel like you're in gunfights, and I believe that is wholly based on the way the maps are built. The maps are built to funnel you into little choke points where you're going to engage with multiple enemies at once. However, in a classic boots on the ground game, and in most situations, especially if you are playing against a team that is not full, like a 4 or 5 man team, you're going to run into a much more passive playstyle. Players will be camping, players will be sitting in corners, and they will be sitting in windows. So you should always be aware of that. You should be checking your corners. Pretend you're a real life military man and you need to check those corners, because if you don't, that could be the end of your life. You always need to be checking corners, even if you are absolutely sure that there is nobody there. Great way to do this also is to just have a headset so you can hear around you, you can hear the sound and any approaching enemies, but you should always be checking your corners just in case there are enemies there. because even if you are shot in the side, with the advanced movement games, you can kind of boost away and still survive that gunfight. In a boots on the ground game, your movement is much more slow, obviously, because you don't have a jetpack on your back. You're going to have a hard time escaping gunfights or outplaying enemy players. There are still advanced tactics that you can employ, like the jump shot or the drop shot, but clearly those are absolutely not as effective as boosting up into the air or boosting through the air and changing directions midway in the air like you could do in the advanced movement games. This is also something that you should keep in mind for situational awareness. I would say every time you enter a building, anytime you enter a new part of the map, you should always be scanning your exits. Think of yourself like James Bond. When you come into a room, you need to make sure that you are prepared for anything to happen in that room. Look for the windows, look for the doors, look for where you need to escape, and try not to bunch up with your teammates. If a grenade hits that room, you're going to need to find the closest exit and make it there as fast as you possibly can. And if you're bunched up with a bunch of teammates, that's not going to happen. You're going to be bumping into them. It is a lot nicer now that they've fixed the player collision in Call of Duty games, so you can kind of rub past players. But for the most part, if there's a bunch of you in one spot, you're going to be colliding with other players. You're going to find it very difficult to escape a room if need necessary. If an enemy is shooting at you, if there's a grenade in there and you need to get out, I would just always try to stay to yourself, or at the very least pair up. I've always said that there are two players. You're always running into two players at once when you're playing a Call of Duty game, and that's for a reason. The two-player partner program is like the best way to play a Call of Duty game. When you're running with a single partner, be they on your mic or be they just a random person that wants to follow you around, it makes it much easier to control the map flow. You can have two people kind of enter into a spawn and not totally flip that spawn. You can have two people very close by and you don't need to bump into each other too much, and you can always head for different exits. You can kind of flank around. One person can distract enemies while the other person engages the enemies. Basically, to sum up this video, play the game like you would if this were real life. It is no longer a futuristic game. You can't push off threats for a later time. You need to engage the threats that are most prominent first, and you need to be pretty much aware of all of your surroundings, situational awareness at all times, and that is the best way to play a boots on the ground Call of Duty game. There is no more leniency for not paying attention. You need to pay attention, you need to focus in, and once you do that, you will have a much better time playing Call of Duty World War II. That is going to conclude today's video. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next video.